Welcome back. I'm Ross Palumbo. Back to our breaking news in Cabazon. That mid-air crash involving one firefighting helicopter. It all happened near Pipeline Road and Apache Trail here just south of the 10 freeway and the Morongo Casino Resort. Joining us now live near the scene is KCAL News reporter Lori Perez. Lori, I know you just arrived, but what can you tell us from the scene?
Yeah, we literally just parked the truck and walked out here. I can tell you that just a second ago, you're seeing that truck that just passed me. That's from the Sheriff's Department, Forensic Services. We're told that where this happened is actually well into this area behind us, about 3/4 of a mile down this road, and then 3/4 of a mile to the left, probably about an estimated 30-minute walk from here. I have not yet spoken to anyone on the scene aside from the public information officer from Calfire Riverside, telling me that he is in there right now talking to first responders and trying to get all the facts that he can, and then he's going to make his way back out here. I can tell you that in the few moments that we've been here, I've watched as multiple ambulances have left, first responder vehicles, and then again we just saw that one going inside. And this is a massive parcel behind us of private land. We're not being allowed, again, beyond that gate right there. I'm not exactly sure what this private land is. I can tell you just looking at the map, Google Maps to be blunt, and it says it's part of the Morongo Land Trust. You mentioned Morongo Casino. It is right within view of us, maybe I would say, I don't know, a half a mile from here. But this plane crash is well into this darkness behind us in the mountains there. Again, the only thing that I do know is that it does appear that it did, as you said, involve at least one firefighting helicopter at this point. But we haven't yet been allowed to go in there yet or drive down there. I'm told also that this is a dirt road and it gets pretty rough the further you go in. So that might not even be a possibility as time goes on. But again, we are waiting for the public information officer to come out. I will tell you, Ross, that I did do a Zoom interview with an aviation expert. He's from Colson Aviation, which you might recall supplies many of the choppers that CAL FIRE uses in their firefighting efforts. They lease those choppers, they contract them. It was not one of their choppers involved, but he was able to tell me about some of the processes that they use to make sure that everything is coordinated when they are doing these firefighting efforts. They are very diligent. It is a very coordinated effort to make sure that everyone in the air knows everything that is around them at all times. And that means other firefighting helicopters, but also other planes and other aircraft that are in the area. He described it. He said it is down to a T. There is one team that is focused specifically on coordinating, making sure that everyone knows where everyone is at all times. And that communication is constantly updated. The plan is constantly relayed to each other via radio. And he says he has flown hundreds of responses throughout his career of 20 years. And he says there are often times when there's just so much confusion because obviously they're so intense when they're fighting these fires. There are times when crews will say, listen, we got to land and figure this out so that we are all on the same page here. He does not know, of course, what happened here, but he was relaying to me just how coordinated these efforts are. And he says that this kind of a crash is extremely rare. Ross, back to you.
You know, Lori, I know you can't see our pictures from SkyCal, but I did speak with our chopper crew just a little while ago and asked them if there's any sign out there other than the propeller that we're seeing on the ground, and they say they couldn't see anything, that it looked like every part of that chopper was obliterated. CAL FIRE tells us that it's possible there were as many as 3 people in that one chopper, but we don't have an exact number. You reported just a few moments ago that you saw ambulances leave the scene. I know you just got there, but is there any indication that there could have been survivors? Were the ambulances running with lights on and racing from the scene, or do you have any indication from the mood or the situation out there what the status of the people involved is?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. The ambulances that left here did not have lights and sirens on. They were just slowly exiting this scene. So I would not assume that they were transporting anyone. And so it's kind of hard for me to tell. And again, we're obviously very far from the scene. The only thing behind us is a fire crew, and then in front of me here there are some sheriff's deputies who are kind of monitoring, making sure no one goes in there who should not belong in there. It's going to be a long night. There's a lot more to figure out here. Ross, back to you.
All right, great information, though, Lori. We know you just got back to the scene. Any new information, of course, will come right back to you in this newscast. Thank you so much.